Hello, this is Jim with DC Digital, and I have Ben with me today to explain the network time of day clock and the web page that is now resident on the network card, and accessing the web page and manipulating the data so that it can be seen from a computer or a telephone or a smartphone. And what we have here today is a DC-25N-POE-Stainless, and this is a surface mount stainless for clean rooms, operating rooms, whatnot. And what we have is it is a POE, and also it hosts a interface card with a web page, network web page that you can see through by inputting the IP address of that network card. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Ben here, who's going to explain how the web page and accessing it and manipulating the data to get specific 24-hour format, your time zone, and your IP address settings. And so without further ado, Ben.
Okay. The clock is a PoE clock, so it is 802.11 AF standard, 13 watts standard. We are not consuming anywhere near all of those 13 watts in this configuration. The web page, it actually hosts 4 different web pages to help configure, 3 of which I'll go over today. The 4th is an add-on. The home page, as presented here in the video, is an information page. It simply gives you information about the clock and where it's at on the network. So here you have the network server information. This is where it's going to get the time from. This is the last time it's synchronized, and this only refreshes if you refresh the page. So as you refresh the page, this will be the last time it was able to synchronize with that server. Its last attempt, if it succeeded at synchronizing, we'll say success here. If it didn't succeed at synchronizing this time because the server is down or because the network is disconnected, it will say network error. So that'll indicate very quickly that there is either a problem with the network or a problem with the NTP server, but that the clock is operating as expected. It'll show you the synchronized interval. Now the synchronized interval is important to be compliant with the server requirements. So some servers will allow you to access them more frequently. Other servers will allow you to access them less frequently. And those are whoever's hosting that server sets those rules. Then there is the network information. Right now you can see that we are configured for DHCP, which is Dynamic Host Control Protocol, I think. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. And that allows us to automatically obtain the IP address and the network mask and gateway and DNS settings from the router. And then those are all listed here. The device name is generated by default as we ship these out, and you can change that. I'll go over that in a little bit, but you can change that to whatever room you're deploying this clock into, or whatever makes sense to you for your organization of these devices on your network. I'm scrolling down. You'll see the time information here, and it simply tells you whether you're in 12 or 24-hour mode, what current time zone. So in the summertime, this will say Eastern Daylight Time, the hours of offset from GMT, or UTC more specifically, and then whether or not you're observing daylight savings. So we are observing daylight savings, but we are in the winter time here, which is why we're in Eastern Standard Time and we're at UTC -5, which is 1:41 p.m. Okay. You can change some of the settings on the clock settings page, and it'll ask you for a username and password.
And default is you're typing in username for username.
Yeah, the
and-
default password is the default username and password is username and password all lowercase. And then once you're in there, you can set it to whatever you wish it to be, so that your network is secure.
And it gives you an option to do that.
Okay. And so on the clock settings page, you'll see the option there at the top to change the password, and that is one form separate from the second form on this page. Okay, the second form on this page allows you to set the NTP server settings and the time settings. So there you can put in the address that you want to go to obtain the time. That can be your own internal server to your network. That can be an external server that has a pool, much like we're using here with the time.nist.gov.
And that pool is a URL. So it has several time NTP servers that are available in that pool.
Yeah,
So you don't. It allows you not to just go to one IP. It allows you to go to a pool of them. Where if the first one's not giving you a good time, it increments to the next one to the next. Correct?
correct. Every time that you query that domain, it will direct you where it wants to send you for the time of day.
Okay.
In that pool. Now this, you can put in a URL, a domain name, just as you see here, or you can put in an IP address as well. You have either option, and both work in that field.
Okay.
If they don't work, you'll get a network error, and you've entered something that does not answer or respond to the NTP protocol. There's your update interval, and you can update anywhere from 1 minute every minute to 1,800 minutes, which is just about a little over a day, a few hours over a day. Hour format is 12 or 24 hour, and I'll go ahead and change that right now. Since we are in the evening, you'll see the difference once I go back and this refreshes. You won't see, because we're in the wintertime, you won't see a change in observance versus no observance. But I'll go ahead and select, we are in Eastern Standard Time, and I have 7 different time zones representing Atlantic through Hawaii time in the list, in the drop-down. So any time in the contiguous United States plus Hawaii, Alaska, and San Juan or Puerto Rico. Okay. So go ahead and pick Mountain Time so you can see the change. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. You'll see here, we're at 24-hour mode. Mountain Standard Time. Their offset is 7 hours from UTC. And so it is now 11:45 in the morning in Mountain Time. That is covering that page. I didn't change the network settings, but you can change you can change the server settings as I went through. I just don't have another place to send you to go to today. Here's where you can select and change your network configuration. If you select DHCP from this drop-down, it will not matter what you enter in the other fields. DHCP will override the other fields. But if you select static, you can then enter IP address, subnet mask, gateway, and DNS server. All of these need to be in IPv4 format, dotted notation. You can also change the device name to like master bedroom or production floor.
Hallway, storage room,
Zone 1.
custodian's room,
We'll just
principal's
change
office.
that. We'll leave it DHCP and we'll change that production office so you can see that on the home page. So there it is. And then if you were to pull this up in your network administration tools, whatever you might be using to manage your network, that will be the name as it's discovered on the network. Those are the 3 pages that are involved in the configuration of the PoE clock.
What's on
network
the
clock.
what's on the 4th page here, Ben?
On the 4th page is a bell schedule, and this is an add-on. You can contact us to purchase this upgrade.
Okay, and that allows that individual IP to hold a bell schedule for
Correct.
contact closure at specific times during the day.
Right. So if you attach a bell to this,
Or a
or
buzzer
purchase
or
a unit
something.
that has a bell,
Mm-hmm.
you can schedule that in a single zone single day bell schedule.
Okay.
Using that upgrade.
Well, very good. Again, this is Jim and Ben. We're introducing the web page that's on this network time of day clock. It's a DC-25N-POE-Stainless POE network clock. Thank you.